Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm designing a layout for Bramble Fox using some items from the December Fox box, which is the cutest Fox box I think I've ever seen. I just think it's adorable, and I'm also going to use a couple of bits from the store as well, a few of those hearts you can see there. So with the Fox box, I'm picking out the three blue elements. There's three words, all blue. So I've got winter, the word frosty, and then brrr. I can't do that, sorry. And then I've got Fox Cut number 26, which is that gorgeous snowflake stencil. So I'm going for a real wintry theme today. So I've pulled out Echo Park's Winter Magic collection from last year, and I love this collection. I think the papers are so stunning in it. I've got loads of it left over, including a 6x6 pad. So I'm using that to make some paper straws. So I've cut them 6 inches long by 1.5 inches wide, and I'm applying double-sided tape to one of the longer ends and then that top shorter end. And I'm using a plastic straw and rolling them kind of diagonally at an angle. Now I do them diagonally because I find for me I get a more kind of even thickness or width all the way along the straw. If I fold them horizontally across the straw, I always end up with one end kind of looser than the other and a bit fatter, and I just don't know why, I just can't do it. So I always go diagonal. It does mean that they're not quite then 6 inches long, and obviously depending on the angle I roll at, some of them come out shorter than others, which is fine because that's what I wanted for this layout anyway. But if you are aiming for 6 inches long, I suggest, if you can, roll them horizontally rather than at an angle. I just don't get on doing that, I just can't do it. And also when you roll them diagonally, you get the lines around the straw kind of at an angle, which I really like, and it breaks up the pattern a bit. So the pattern differs because of, obviously, it's rolled at an angle. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully you can see in the close-ups what I mean, but you won't get like the clear snowflake pattern because they're rolled diagonally, and you'll get different sections of the paper overlapping. But that's what I was going for, so I'm really happy with how these came out. And I've made loads, and I'm going to have them going horizontally across the page, but in a vertical design, if that makes sense. You can see here, as I roll them, when I get to that last bit, it doesn't stick too well. So I've got my hot glue gun there, and I'm just using a little bit of hot glue just to stick that last bit down. And I will use my glue gun to stick those to my background as well. So I already absolutely love how that's looking. These papers are just so stunning, all the designs on them, I just love them all together. So I'll put those to one side. I'm just going to add a bit of mixed media to my background. Now with Fox Cut 26, you've got, I think it's 5 snowflakes on there. You also get the two kind of negative parts of the larger snowflakes, so that's what I'm using to add some colour to my background at the moment. I'm using a blending brush and a distress ink in Salty Ocean, and I'm just brushing over that negative part of that stencil, kind of over the snowflake shape, and it's giving me an imprint on my background. I was going to just have some blue ink underneath where those straws were sitting, kind of giving it a glow underneath, but the stencil gives it so much lovely detail because you can see those white snowflake imprints in it. So I'm doing that all the way around. I've used the larger one and sort of the smaller one that you get. And then I'm coming back in with the actual stencil itself and using two of the smaller snowflakes with the same distress ink, but I'm pressing down a lot harder now to get a darker imprint, just to give a variation on the shades there. I'm going to have those varying shades and sizes around the edge of my straws on my photo there. So I'm happy with the placement of all my snowflakes, so I'm going to add some splatters on top of that as well now. And I'm using the same distress ink, Salty Ocean, and I've just watered it down a bit on some Bramble Fox packaging. I love using my Bramble Fox packaging for mixed media. For the packaging technique, they're just perfect size. So whenever I get my Fox box or anything I've ordered from the store, I always keep that plastic packaging to use for mixed media. So I've added the blue splatters. Now I'm coming in with a Distress spray stain in brushed pewter. It's like a metallic silver, and I love this stuff. Goes on really like a thick metallic kind of paint, but really pretty and shiny. So I've added loads of splatters with that as well. Then I'm going to come in with a darker blue. This is a Distress ink again, and it's chipped sapphire, this one, kind of like a navy colour. I do actually have this as a Distress oxide as well, but I find it comes out more of a purple than a blue, so I tend to always reach for the ink over the oxide. And And I'm just using my paper towel there to dry off any excess. I'm a bit impatient when it comes to mixed media, and I don't like to wait for it to dry, so always have a roll of a kitchen towel on hand on my desk. I've just used my 2-square ruler there just to mark the kind of straight lines top and bottom of where I want these straws to sit. The last thing I want is to stick these wonky now I've gone to all the effort of making them. So just made a couple of straight lines there, and I will use my ruler just to get that first one stuck in place. And then obviously I can just work my way down from there. But I've just brought them back in because I'm going to mark the ends of each of those paper straws so that when it comes to applying the glue and getting them stuck down, I know sort of how I want them arranged. I don't want them all lined up perfectly straight. I want them kind of staggered for a bit more of an effect and just for a bit more interest, really. So now I'm going to get these straws stuck down. I'm using my ruler, like I said, just to get that first one lined up. And I've turned my page sideways to do this. I just thought I had a sort of better eyeball, if you like, going sideways as opposed to working my way down. And I'm right-handed, so I don't know why I was trying to do it with my left hand. I think it's because it was plugged in over that side of my desk, so it was kind of closer to the socket, but I just couldn't do it. I just can't do anything left-handed, so I've swapped over. I'm still doing it sideways. It makes it just a lot easier for me. And just applying that glue and then getting those straws stuck in place. And these glue guns, with hot glue, it dries really quick, so these take a matter of seconds to kind of set and stick, and really strong hold as well. So I've just got to the bottom there, and I've got enough space between my final pencil line there for another straw, so I'm just going to quickly make one last straw and then get that stuck in place. I really love how this is looking already. I've got my lovely mixed media on the background using that Fox cut stencil, and all my paper straws stuck in place. Now I'm just going to get to work on my photo, and this is my little boy. Earlier this year, actually, I think it was kind of February time maybe, and we had some snow. It's the only snow we've had in the last 12 months, and it was like proper snow. So I think we were still in our pyjamas at the time, and I was like, oh my god, it's snowing, everybody outside, grab the camera, and we literally just ran out the front, and nobody had touched the snow yet, so it was perfect, and we literally just chucked some clothes on, chucked our coats, hats and scarves and everything on, and ran out there and had some fun. So it's a photo of my little boy there with a snowball in his hand, and I'm going to have it to kind of the right of my straws, down the bottom, just covering up that right hand side. So that's why I purposely had the straws more to the left, because I knew my photo was going to sit over on the right. And then I'm going to use those 3 blue perspectives on this layout. Unfortunately, you can't really see them too well on the camera or in the close-ups. In real life, they're really obvious to see, but just against these pattern papers on the camera, they've just not shown up too well, I'm afraid. But obviously you will get to see them in the close-ups. It's just one of the things of doing blue on blue, I guess. It's yeah, it just masks them a bit. But these are a gorgeous, lovely blue kind of frosted effect. And what I actually do, I'm going to alter them a bit, and I don't do it on camera because I made this layout last night, and then I always like to photo my layouts in natural light, so I always wait until the following day. And as I was picking the layout up off my desk to photo it, I clocked my Nouveau Glimmer Paste in the corner of my desk. And I was like, some sparkle. And I didn't think about turning my camera on. I just got really carried away and excited and cracked on. But I'm actually going to put some Nouveau Glimmer Paste over those 3 perspectives and make them kind of sparkly and glittery. And it almost looks like snow sitting on them because it's given them a kind of bumpy effect. You'll see what I mean in the close-ups. And I really love how it's come out. So if you've got some Nouveau Glimmer Paste, try it on your perspectives because it's really, really great, and it's made them all pretty and shimmery, just kind of elevated them a little bit. Not that they needed it, but I was just so happy that I thought of doing this, and you can't beat a bit of sparkle, can you? So you'll notice in the close-ups that they are sparkly, and that's why. So I've added a few stickers to my layout as well now, just using the sticker sheet from the, what's it called? Winter Magic, was it, collection? I've forgotten what it's called already. Just from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, just a couple of like mittens, a hat, a snowman and some trees. And now I'm just die cutting some snowflakes from the same pattern papers just to have a couple scattered across the layout. And I'm using the darker papers for a bit of contrast because that mixed medium in the background is quite light, and then some of the straws are a lighter shade of blue, so I'll place these snowflakes on the lighter areas so you can see them a bit more. So I've just skipped through the rest of that die cutting for you. I think I've cut like 5 or 6 snowflakes in the end. I'm just using some quick dry tacky glue to get those stuck in place. And I want to add a couple of these gorgeous heart perspectives as well. These are available in the store, so you don't have to be a Foxbox subscriber to buy these ones. If you are a Foxbox subscriber, obviously you get a discount in the store, so make sure you use your discount code. But I love these. There's different shades of blues, there's some greys, there's a couple of white and black in there. Really great for wintry layouts. So I've just added a couple of stars there, one over to the left and one over to the right. And then a wintry layout about snow wouldn't be complete with some actual snow, would it? So I'm going to finish my layout off with some white splatters. And I'm watering down some white gesso for this because I find that rather than soaking into the cardstock or the pattern papers, it sits on top and it stays a much more truer white than my acrylic paint does. So I always use white gesso for my splatters. And I'm going to go to town with this because I want it to look like snow. I have covered my photo just with a smaller Bramble Fox packaging. It's see-through, which is why you can't see it, but I have covered my photo. And I'm just going to go to town adding these splatters, and then I will give you a close-up of how that looks. Obviously, like I said, you can't see the sparkle on those perspectives yet because I haven't done it, but hopefully in a second in the close-ups here you'll be able to see it. So there we go, there's a close-up of that glimmer paste on the perspectives, and I'm really happy how that turned out. I wasn't sure if it would take and stick or not, or kind of dry, but it did really well. So really pleased with how that came out. But that's my layout finished for today. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the video and you like the layout and it's given you some inspiration on using the bits from your December Foxbox. Please do remember to hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this video on my personal channel, then head over to the Bramble Fox Bramble Fox channel and subscribe there as well, and you'll get some inspiration from all the other DT members as well. But I'll pop some links in the description box for you to the Foxbox sign up page, to the store, and also to the Bramble Fox Friends Facebook group. But thanks again for joining me. I'll leave you with the rest of the close-ups and I'll see you next time.